Hi everyone and welcome to Make It Happen TV. It's Facebook Live time and I come to you every week at 6 p.m. to talk to you about sales related issues, your challenges that you face in your sales career, how you build your business. If you're a small business owner, you're a network marketer, how you write a business plan and get yourself going if you're starting a new company, really getting you to generate revenue. That's what my focus is. How can I help you generate more revenue week in, week out than you're doing right now? Because at the end of the day, what matters? Well, what matters is we bring money in and we keep costs down. And I say this all the time. Lots of companies out there, they're not bringing enough money in. Lots of salespeople out there aren't achieving what they want to achieve. And unfortunately, that isn't getting them to where they want to be. So I'm here to help you, okay? You can ask me any question you want. I'm an open book. Anything you want at all, I don't mind at all. And any question that you ask me related to your business, to sales, to business development, issues you've got with employers when it comes to trying to perform as well as you'd like to, how you get the best out of yourself, how you motivate yourself, how you inspire yourself. What about the goals that you need to set and the smart way of going about that? And then thinking also about technology today and how that is playing such a big part in how salespeople really need to reshift, rethink and remove themselves from the old technology or the old processes and start using new ways of engaging with people so that they can get the best results they're looking for. I often talk about cold calling. Gosh, how often do I talk about that being dead? And yet there are still people out there that are cold calling because, to be honest with you, their bosses are still asking them to cold call because their employers are not giving them viable solutions, viable alternatives, so they don't have to do that dreaded cold calling every day. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you cold call nowadays, then really you are behind the eight ball. I have been working with many real estate brokers here in Dubai recently, and I find that they have an abundance of leads, yet they've got to get sellers to sell their properties and they have to engage with those sellers. Okay, I've also found that most other salespeople don't have an abundance of leads. So how do we go about getting those leads, and then how do we go about converting them? A lot of the time we forget about our engagement with people, about the critical, small, important things, the things that so often get forgotten. We've always met somebody, or we've all met somebody with a bad attitude. We've all met somebody out there that's got body odor, let's say. Okay, someone that doesn't smell good. And people don't realize this. You know, my mum will only buy from someone that has a clean pair of shoes on, and sometimes we don't acknowledge how we look, how we present ourselves, and the things we need to do to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. But like anything, we have to remember that it doesn't matter what skills you learn, okay, it doesn't matter what talent you have, okay, it will never outweigh work ethic, all right? It will never outweigh work ethic. Work ethic rules, okay, in every single example. So we have to make sure that we always work extremely hard, because that is going to be the difference between success and failure. A lot of time you'll see people that are born gifted in some way, whether that's a sports person, okay, or whether that's a business person. Some people think they're gifted. No, 9 times out of 10 they've got talent, but their talent they've worked on and worked on and worked on. Their attitude, their focus, their commitment has been everything. Thank you very much, Amma, for giving me Justin Van Eck in South Africa, in Joburg. How you doing? Cameron, how are you? Karen, hello, my dear. How are you? Michelle, how are you? I hope you're well, Michelle. Michelle, where are you? You in the States? Are you in the UK? I can't remember. Michelle, tell me where you are. Okay, come and join us, guys. Put your love hearts on. Make sure you put your ticks on. Make sure you do the things that you need to do so that we can get lots of engagement here. Make sure you're doing all of the positive things. So positive encouragement, positive support. But again, ask me your questions and challenges that you face. Last weekend, we went into doing a 2-day masterclass. So the Make It Happen University took 21 of its students into a masterclass for 2 days, and that masterclass was where they got the opportunity to spend 2 days with me, helping them look at all aspects of their business, revenue generation, and helping them rewire themselves, maybe re-switch something, maybe rethink something, maybe get new skills so that they can go and deploy them with the business. And I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that those people learned today. Hopefully one or two will be joining us as well. Alexandra, how are you? Georgia, how are you? By the way, Georgia, Georgia, your husband Lewis is hilarious. I love him to bits. He's great. That show we make is fantastic. Guys, if you're not watching that show, it's called The Close. It's myself and Lewis Alsop. Lewis owns the biggest real estate brokerage here in the UAE. He's a massively successful young man. I've known him for a long time. Check in and check out that show. You'll enjoy it. So hi, Georgia. How are you? Sarah's on. Hi, Sarah. Hiya, James. How are you? And Ella, how are you too? Ella says to me after, Ella was one of the students. So Ella says to me after spending 2 days with me, she sends me a message. You know when you know someone, but you don't know where you know them from? Well, this is where I know you from. And Ella met me in 2007 and I had no recollection of that. That was a bit creepy, but it was also a bit lovely when I had a chance to talk to her about it too. So Ella, hope you're well. Wizam, how are you, sir? Wizam, awesome guy, owns a company called Goldmark Real Estate with his partner, Kieran. Kieran and Wizam really are two fantastic guys. Those guys are going places. If you are looking to rent properties or you're looking to buy properties, I'll tell you something. Those guys are focused, driven, on point, okay, and making it happen. Great guys. So hi, Wiz, how are you, mate? Okie dokie. Right, let's start talking about what people learned the other day, okay? Michelle, tell me where you're from. I can't remember because I know where everybody else is from. Right, what did people learn? Well, first things first, the important thing for everybody was to come with a clear mind, okay, and come with a focus to want to learn. They want to be the best version of themselves they could be. And I found that with nearly everybody in there, they were committed to their learning. The next thing that we had to deal with was giving some people some form of track to follow. Now, I talk about goals. It's a lot of the time, it's kind of big thing for me, okay, because I believe that people get the whole goal planning thing wrong. You know, they set out with a business plan for 3 years and 5 years, or they set goals for 3 and 5 years, or even 1 year. And to me, that just isn't feasible. I don't know anybody that is able to focus on a goal for 12 months and give it the same amount of focus every day. You've got to give yourself some confidence. You've got to give yourself some positive encouragement. And the way you do that is by giving yourself a little bit of a reward. And that little bit of a reward you give you, it comes from setting up much shorter term goals and worrying about short term goals rather than long term goals. The reason is you can focus on those short term goals. You can get engaged with a short term goal. You know, there's a short period of time. If I do X, Y, and Z over the course of the next 3 months, guess what? I can get this. What actually you get, yes, you get the financial gain or the success gain, but more importantly, you get confidence, your self-esteem goes up, and that's critical. So what was I teaching people? Well, with everybody, I think you should take 90 days as a maximum period of a goal, 3 months. Break it down, work out what you need to achieve each month, okay, in terms of your revenue, and then work out what you need to do each week, and then break that down into each day, and then work out what you need to do to create that daily revenue. And that's literally all you've got to worry about. What is my daily revenue requirement? Okay, I need to produce X amount of clients, X amount of revenue. Right, what's my strategy to produce that today? And if you get up in the morning knowing you've got a strategy to produce that today, then do you know what? Everything else becomes immaterial because all you have to focus is on today. Thank you for the love hearts, guys. Give me some more. Who else have we got? Are there more people coming in? Michelle, Cameron, Karen, Georgia, Alex, Sarah, James, Ella, Wizam, Michelle, Dania, how are you? The lady with the... Dania feeds me. She feeds me stuff so I lose weight. She's like a nemesis in some respects. She's like the Wicked Witch in other respects, and she's like a savior, also all in one package. Because she's the lady that makes me eat food that I don't particularly like, so I can lose the weight that I need to lose, so I can go and climb mountains like Killy, etc. So hi, Dania, how are you, my dear? Neil, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you coming to join us, guys. Comments, questions, anything that you want to ask me, please come and join me. So going back to the goals, can we focus on what we need to do just today? Well, I believe we can. And if we can focus on what we need to do just today, then we're going to be in a great place because all we need to do is get that done today. So take 90 days, whatever that revenue amount is. I don't know, let's say it's, $60,000. So keep it really simple. That's $20,000 a month. That's $5,000 a week. That's $1,000 a day if you work 5 working days. So what have I got to do to produce $1,000 worth of revenue? And we went into detail on this on the masterclass so that people could understand in detail what they needed to do each day. Because again, no matter what skills you've got, it doesn't matter what talent you've got. If you're not focused on making sure you achieve these absolute minimums, then you're going to miss it. And if you miss it, then you know what? It gets frustrating, doesn't it? It gets a little bit depressing. So that's an issue. Jennifer, how are you? Nice to see you coming to join us. So think about that with your business, for what you do. What is your daily goal that you have to do? If you've got to lose weight, if you want to make money, whatever it is, what's my daily goal? What have I got to do today? I've got to get up at X time, and I've got to do my exercise. And again, I bang on about that a lot because I think everyone should start the day with some form of exercise. Once I do that, okay, then I make sure that I know my list of things that have to be done today. So whatever it is I need to execute, I'll know that as soon as I finish my exercise in the gym. And for me, that's at 6:30, I'm done, okay? And then I'm ready to get on with my day, grab a shower after the gym, and then get ready. And then by 7 o'clock, 7:15, I'm working. So from that moment onwards, I'll know every day what I've got to do. And so should you. And so I teach people that on the course. A lot of people want to know sales tools, how I deal with objections, how you handle a difficult client, a difficult prospect, how you make sure that you don't get objections. And as far as I'm concerned, lots of salespeople have been taught, if you get an objection, you handle it with 1, 2, or 3 different methods. For me, objections are 2 things. Number 1, either serious or they're complaints. But can I build into my process something that stops the objection coming in the first place? Can I handle the objection in advance? And if I can handle the objection in advance, that's going to help me out. Hi, Pete. How you doing? Pete's over in the UK in Milton Keynes. Okay, Justin's got a question. I'll come on to that. John, nice to see you joining us, mate. I hope you're well. Hope everything's going well for you at your new job over at Devere in Abu Dhabi. I hope it's going for you, mate, and I hope you're doing awesome. Great pictures of your family online, by the way. You've got some gorgeous kids. So when we think about it, what is going on with you? Okay, what are you doing? Okay, how are you handling objections? How are you thinking about objections? Do you fear them? Do you build them into your process? And again, on the course, I teach. Imagine walking down a corridor. There's doors all the way down the corridor. Imagine a hotel corridor. You go down the corridor, there's doors for each of the rooms. Imagine each of those doors is ajar, and so they're not closed, and your prospect's walking in front of you. How can you stop your prospect from running out of one of those doors and making a decision not to buy? What can you do about that? Is there something you can do? Yes or no? Well, again, as far as I'm concerned, in every single presentation that we do, we can build in every objection that we expect to get before it becomes an objection. Then, if there are any objections later on, the reality is they're probably just complaints, they're probably just noise, and they're probably just token gesture, and they're not that important. So this is something else that I teach whilst I'm on the masterclass, and some of the people on the masterclass are here right now. Dan Grimm's with us. Hiya, Dan. How are you? Mona, how are you doing? Okay, I hope you're doing all the things that you said you were going to do, Mona. Mona, again, another student from the university. Maria, I hope you're well. So let's think about those things. Do you have clearly defined goals? Okay, yes or no? Do you have them? I don't mean woolly, kind of defined, almost defined. I want to know if you have clearly defined goals. And if you do, that's great. Do you know what you need to do each day? Yes, you do. Perfect. Okay, that's a start. Do you know how to build a presentation out that enables you to handle any potential objection that may come your way? And if you don't, what work are you going to do to work on developing that? Now, the other thing that I talk about quite a lot within the Make It Happen Masterclass is cold calling, because I'm a big fan of people not cold calling. I think it's an absolute waste of time. It's what dinosaurs do. I talk about dinosaurs a lot. Dinosaurs! Who wants to be a dinosaur? Well, it's almost like you're Fred Flintstone, aren't you? Remember his car in that cartoon, Fred Flintstone? He had the hole in the ground and he used to push his feet along to push the car along. That's what he used to do. That's like so archaic. We look at that and we think that's not real. It's not possible. It's so many years ago. Cold calling is for dinosaurs. Trust me, it's exactly what it is. So think about that. And make sure that you are not cold calling people. But again, don't sit there and go, well, I don't have any other strategy. I don't even know what to do. Don't sit there and be a dummy. The answer's everywhere. You can find the answer easy enough. Phone me. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll tell you the answer. Make sure that you don't waste your time approaching people the wrong way to generate opportunities. Approach in the right way. So think about what you can do. All of you that come to my seminars and come to my workshops, none of you have been cold called ever. And because you've never been cold called, you've never had to give me a rejection from a cold call on the phone. What do you know about me if you quite simply get a cold call? Not a lot. I call you, you're a random stranger, I call you out of the blue. Hi, it's Spencer here from Make It Happen. I know we've not spoken before, but have you heard of my company? No, I haven't. And I really don't want to talk to you because I don't know who you are, is what people are thinking. However, if people have the time to use this, which is there in their hand every time, every minute of the day, they've got the chance to use this, and then from this they can look at it and they can see something of value to them. Then guess what's going to happen? What's going to be of value to them is going to be an opportunity for them to decide on their own terms, in their own time, whether they want to engage with something. Make it attractive, make it appealing, get people in, and do something that lots of people don't do. Lots of salespeople are focused on making money, making money, making money. You can't nowadays focus that way. You have to focus on adding value, adding value, adding value. Be the expert, be the expert, be the expert. And if you do, guess what happens? People trust you because you're the expert. When you are the expert, they're going to come to you before anybody else because they're going to trust your knowledge and your experience. Hi, Paul. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Right, Justin says a question. What you got, mate? When do you plan your day? Early in the morning or the previous night? Which do you think is better? I always make sure that I know what I've got to do before I go to bed. And then I always know in the morning to execute what I've got detailed down on my list. So I know what I've got to do. I don't write my list in the morning. I write my list at night. So I know what I've got to do the next day to execute on my goals. Again, a lot of people get caught up in writing lists of things they need to do. And they don't focus on money-making activities. They're too busy wrapped up in anything and everything that is kind of like peripheral to the core of the business. What's peripheral? You know, if you were building an IT company, or you're building an app, you were building some form of software and you needed investors, if you run out of money, you can't build any more software. So your priority has got to be raising money. And so if that's your priority, what's your strategy to raise money? And don't get hung up on the other stuff in the meantime. Just get focused on the strategy for raising money, and then you've got a fighting chance of building your business through investors. I hope that makes sense, Justin, for you. Okay, Danny Agson. Alam, how are you, my dear? I hope you're well done in Abu Dhabi. So it's important to make sure that we really think about what the money-making activities are in our business, what our goals are, how we're going to achieve them, and then what our list of things to do the next day is, the following day is, that's going to be focused on money-making activities primarily before anything else. Okay, think about your business and your money-making activities. What have you got? You know, think about the things that you do. No worries, just think about the things that you do that don't generate revenue. Think about the things you get sucked into and you waste time on that don't make you money. Think about the statistic that says people work on average for 2.5 to 3 hours a day. What do they do with the rest of their time? If you're in a business of your own, what are you doing? You know, I know, for example, I need to produce 3 pieces of video content a week plus a live video. Now, I know that because I've spoken to a strategist in digital media that says 3 pieces of digital content a week plus a live, okay, will give you the required amount of exposure so that you're building your audience and you're building your engagement, so you're adding value to more and more people. So when I hear that, guess what? I execute on that, but I don't sit there and say, right, that's what I've got to do. I hear that and I go, right, that's the minimum. What else can I do on top of that? How much more can I do? So I'll be going to Kilimanjaro at the end of the month, and obviously I want to make my audience aware that I'm going to Kili. I want to raise some money for charity, which is fair enough to do so. Okay, but I'm going to make sure that I'm producing content that's in context, okay, and consistent. So content in context that's consistent. And again, producing that is really, really important. You know, I do it right now with you guys, okay? You can see I'm in my studio. You can see the stuff around, okay? I can't even show you because the camera's over there. But we've got lights. We've got a backdrop. You know, we've got soundproofing, mics, okay? And it's all going on. I've got my superstar Amma here that works with me to produce that content, edit that content, and get it out. And that's the stuff that you lot see. I know people need that. My digital media strategist, who's the expert in that area, has told me that's what I need. Okay, I'm going to produce that as a minimum. But do you know what? You can produce it on this. You could produce all your content here. You literally can produce everything here nowadays. Get a plug-in mic, get yourself a little tripod, and before you know it, you're up and running and you can get going. So don't think that you have to have this, because I didn't at first. I had that. I had a phone at first. And if you look at my early stuff, all of it was done on a phone. You can get better. It's not a difficult thing to do. Okay, so Brad, how you doing, mate? Alam is trying to implement a 90 days plan. Right, excellent stuff. Okay, Paul, I don't have classes in the UK, but I'm about to launch a series of webinars. Okay, and those webinars you can get onto whenever you want to, whenever I launch them. So I'll actually be in the UK in a few days' time. Actually, tonight I go to the UK. But only for a couple of days, but I'll be doing webinars to my audience in the UK, Paul, so hopefully you can come and join those. Helen says, thanks for a great masterclass. Highly recommend it. Thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say so. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, I got some great feedback, but I always want to improve and be the best version I can be. So let's summarize this quite quickly, shall we? What are your goals? Are they broken down into 90 days? Do you do exercise every morning? Do you break down, and list out what you need to do the following day, the night before? Do you execute on money-making activities each day rather than that waste of time activities? Are you focused on building an audience? Excuse me. Are you focused on building an audience so that you can add value to people and demonstrate that you're an expert? Okay, if you're not, why not? Okay, are you cold calling? If you are, why? Why are you a dinosaur? Okay, that's dinosaur. So whoever works in Dubai, in London, in New York, in Los Angeles, whoever works in any city right now that's picking up the phone and cold calling and watching this or will watch this on playback, I'm telling you, your boss doesn't know what he's doing, because if he did, he'd give you other tools to use and he'd help you do it. Now, guess what? You can't rely on your boss knowing everything. So if your boss isn't doing it, what can you do, to yourself to help add value and demonstrate that you're the expert, build your value, build the add-ons, so that you can really demonstrate to people that you know what you're doing? How can you use digital marketing so you can get audiences coming to you? Because you want people coming to you, don't you? You want people buying what you're selling. You want people coming to you saying, can I buy it? I'm interested to learn more. That's what you want, rather than the cold calls. Hi Alex, how are you? No worries, Danielle, that's fine. Hi, Rachel, how are you over in the UK? So it's really important that we get this right. If we don't get this right, what you're going to have, which is what probably 85% of salespeople have, it's a mediocre existence in sales. It's just enough. You get by, you live, you can have a car and a house and you can live your life. You can go, you go out at the weekends, but it doesn't give you the opportunity to really blow up your performance. Look, Grant Cardone does the same. Gary Vaynerchuk does the same. Simon Sinek does the same. All of those three people are just examples. Tony Robbins, for goodness sake. Everyone knows Tony Robbins, and he does the same. So what are you doing to make sure that you're not in that 85% category? How are you going to get into this top 15% of salespeople that are really absolutely smashing it? How are you going to go out and be that person that's different? Out of 100 people, you need to be one of those 15 people that are different and doing it the way that it needs to be done. There is no shortage of opportunity nowadays. There's an opportunity to learn almost everything you can want to learn very easily if you're just committed to learn it. What I find also, not on the masterclass, sure, Paul, happy to meet up, mate. What I find on the masterclass is I'm dealing with people that don't have egos, that want to be successful and want to grow. What I find a lot of the time though, oh my God, salespeople that have got big egos think their shit doesn't stink, think that they're good at what they do, nobody can teach them anything, think they've been around the block a few times, and those types of people are the worst enemies to themselves that you can imagine. Because I meet guys that are 45, 50 years old, 55 years old, that haven't achieved what they're supposed to achieve, and they're in a difficult place now because they're going to retire in 10 years or 15 years time, and they won't have had the success that they thought they would have, but they're still wrapped up in this whole facade, this pretense of success when it isn't really success. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute, if success to you is a happy family and earning £25,000 a year, that's success to you, that's wrong. No, that's right, Success should be measured by you. But if you're that arrogant that you can't learn, your head is up your ass so much that you can't learn, you won't develop new skills, and you're still stuck with the old ways of doing things, then you will just slowly fade out. You will slowly become irrelevant and your business will fail. And I just don't want that to happen. So those of you that have got an ego, I know, first of all, you don't think you have, but come on, you do have an ego. For those of you that haven't had, massive success, you have to ask yourself a question. I haven't had massive success. Why? What is the reason? And if you haven't had it and you know the reason, then you need to go and sort it out. If you don't know the reason, then message me. I'll help you find the reason. But 9 times out of 10, you get in the way of yourself. You stand in the way of your own success, your own negative self-talk, or your own egotistical approach and mannerisms, your own, I'm better than this and I'm better than that mentality. I drive a really nice car, so I think I'm better than others type approach. Doesn't help you. It just stands in your way. It stops you becoming who you potentially could become. And by by golly, by gosh, have you got potential? So much potential that people have, but so often is potential never really realized. And that's really, really sad. If you got questions, then let me know. Hector, how you doing from Muscat? How you doing, mate? I hope you will. Hector's got a really cool business as well. Hey, Rach, got any questions? Let me know. Right, guys, I've got some questions here that have come to me. So I get some really weird questions on Twitter and stuff, so I'm going to share them with you. Some of them are kind of normal. Where have we got here? Yeah, some of them are unusual. Okay, so here we go. Be prepared for this. These ones came through to me. John Spencer. So, John, if you're watching, how you doing? If you're not watching and you watch on playback, how you doing? You've got the same surname as my first name, so you must be a decent bloke. He's from London. Here we go. So I'm quite fed up. My boss is forcing all senior consultants to attend a 200-hour leadership course. I work bloody 70 hours a week, and now I'm expected to add this to my workload. Surely this is ridiculous and too much to ask. Okay, John, your boss is asking you to attend a leadership course. Why would your boss, who's probably paying for it, ask you to do it? Because he wants the company to grow and he wants you to grow. He wants you to be better. So try and look at it from another perspective. Try not thinking about it as all being negative. Think about, hold on a minute. Yeah, I do work long hours. Is there a way it could be fitted in? Could I have a conversation with my boss to work out how it could be done? The guy's invested in me. So if he's invested in me, he must believe in me. So maybe there's some positive in there. All right. Sometimes there aren't enough hours in the day to do everything, but sometimes taking a step back and going to learn might help you get much further down the road. So John, hopefully that answered your question. Elizabeth Young is in New York. I've been working at my firm for 3 years, and someone who just started 6 months ago has now been promoted above me. I'm seriously thinking about quitting because I'm fed up. I'm fed up with and always being overlooked. Any advice on what I should do? Okay. There's a guy I know that had this same conversation with me. Not the first part, but the second part of that question. I'm fed up with always being overlooked. I think if there's opportunity, it should come to me. Okay, and other people have got opportunities that I haven't. And I'm like, really? Well, why didn't you go and seek out the opportunity? Well, I shouldn't have to seek out the opportunity. Well, that's rubbish. If you want to get a promotion and you want to develop and grow within a company, you need to make your employers very aware that that's your focus. And you need to be having discussions with them every week, every month about that opportunity to grow and to develop. And if you do, you're going to be in their mind when they think about that promotion. Demonstrate to your employer that you're keen to learn. Go and book yourself. Well, book yourself on a course with me, for goodness sake. Book yourself on the Make It Happen University. Demonstrate to them that you're taking time out of your busy life, okay, to invest in yourself so that you could develop and grow for that company. Don't be so negative about things. Kai, Liz, come on. Elizabeth, you can do better than that. Better thoughts, please. Better questions. More positive, please. Or think at least about it. Hiya, Hector, mate. Okay, so Joe Francis from Las Vegas. Hiya, Joe. How are you? I saw the topic you've been discussing today, and I have to admit that I wondered what the point was. Thanks. I've never been asked by any employers to see my qualifications apart from my first ever job, and that was 20 years ago. Surely all these expensive courses are just a waste of time and money. And what am I supposed to do with the certificate? Email it to my clients and tell them, look at what I did. Joe, I don't know you, but man, that's an awesome question. Thanks, mate. Fucking hell. Okay, so, yeah, all right, fine. So, I'll read it to you, everybody, again, so you can hear it. John says, I saw the topic that you'd been discussing today, and I have to admit that I wondered what the point was. I've never been asked by any employers to see my qualifications apart from my first ever job, and that was 20 years ago. Surely these expensive courses are just a waste of time and money. And what am I supposed to do with the certificate? Email it to my clients, tell them, look at what I did. John, get out of your own way. Your ego is massive, mate. If you learn something new, it will make you more skilled. It will help you grow. Don't tell me you're the best version of yourself you could be. Don't tell me you're at the pinnacle of your career. Don't tell me you're the most amazing person, the most successful person, and all this learning is a waste of time. What are you, a Dinosaur? Don't be so bloody naive, mate. That's ridiculous. You could learn. A certificate's irrelevant. It's only relevant to you. If you get a certificate and it means something to you, to demonstrate you've done something, great. If it doesn't mean anything to you, the certificate isn't what it's about. It's the time that you've taken to go and develop yourself, increase your knowledge, and focus on growing as a person, growing as a professional. Adding new skills can't do you any harm. So come on, John. That's a miserable question. Funny, but miserable. Everything you learn will add value. You learn stuff in your career. All the way through your career, you've learned new things. So stay focused on that, mate. Stay focused on being better, okay? Improving all the time. Think about people that have worked with you over the years that started not knowing much and they focused on growing. Where did they get, okay? Come on. Guys, if you've got questions, let me know. Anonymous from London. Here we go. Anonymous. I'm anonymous. Why are you anonymous? Why would you ask an anonymous question? Here we go. Confession time. Oh, okay, fair enough. I understand this now. I seriously hate my boss. I feel like I know way more than he does, and it irritates the hell out of me when he makes it as if I still have much to learn. He's now suggested that I attend a sales training seminar to learn a thing or two, but I know for a fact that I could sell ice to an Eskimo and that he wouldn't ever be able to produce the results that I do in the office. What do you think I should do? All right, anonymous, whoever you are, why do you hate your boss? What is it about your boss that you hate? Really, what is it? What's happened in the past? How has this happened? And what could you do to repair that relationship? Not wait for them, but what could you do to repair that relationship? He wants you to go on a sales training seminar. Again, your boss is saying, I want you to learn and grow. I would always take that positively. I want to learn and grow. Someone says to me, okay, if Emma said to me, Spence, come on this seminar, I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm going because I want to learn. I try and attend as many seminars as possible. I'm flying to London I go to London tonight, then I'm back. And then a week later, I'm going back to London, okay, over my birthday to go on a 3-day seminar in London. I don't think about my birthday being the most important thing. I think about me learning and growing being the most important thing. So I'm learning to do webinars now. I prefer to engage with an audience. That's why many people meet me at seminars that I have hundreds of people attend. But I'm learning to do webinars so that I can be effective as a webinar sales and marketing person, so that I can promote my business through webinars. And so you have to learn, you have to grow, because guess what? Webinars didn't exist some time ago. Your chair is rubbing on that, Emma. Yeah. Webinars didn't exist some time ago. Okay, and because they didn't exist that time ago, we couldn't learn how to do it. And you know what? It's a tool that people use because everything's on your bloody phone. So don't be like that, please, Mr. Anonymous. Start to think about the benefit of getting some more learning and growing, and it might help you. Okay, I love my boss. He's awesome, positive and encouraging always. That's a message from my assistant, Sarah, okay, who's the most sarcastic, patronizing person I can imagine. Piero Bazet, hi, Spencer. How do you evaluate a potential in a person? Piero, what a great question, mate. Very good indeed. How do you evaluate someone's potential? Well, my belief is that everybody has potential, and evaluating it isn't necessarily where I focus on. It's trying to unlock what someone's potential could be. And spending time with people, you can learn about where they are. You can learn about where they want to go. You can learn about what their ambitions are. And a lot of the time it's in the words that they use. If people want to be successful, then to me, that's not a term that would make me feel that they're going to go somewhere in life. If somebody wants to achieve a goal of X amount by X period of time and is clear on what it is, I see that they've got potential to grow. People that have got potential are always learning, aren't they? They're reading books, they're listening to podcasts, they're taking training. Those people have got potential to me. Yes, it's not something that you can sit and document, but it's something I believe when you spend time with someone you can feel and sense, and I think for me that's the important thing. But I also, I look at someone's potential, and I always believe that people have got more in them than they actually sometimes believe they've got themselves. And so I will look at people and try and push them as hard as I can push them to get them out of somewhere that's comfortable, so that they can literally open those doors into what is possible for them, and so that they can open up their potential. So hopefully that answers that question. Please come through and ask some more. Daniela's on, Robert Allsop's on, how are you as well? Okay, I hope you're keeping well. Capil, how you doing, mate? Okay, I can't wait to get working with you. Harry, Capil, I hope you're exercising. Harry, how you doing as well? Guys, if you've got questions for me, let me know what your questions are, okay? Throw your questions at me. I'm going to give you a couple more that I've got on Twitter here. Hopefully they're not as negative as the other ones. Jenny Jenny Singh, I don't know what her surname is. Jenny from Hong Kong. I never got a degree. Hi, Spencer. I never got a degree or anything, but opted to go straight into the workforce after school. I've now been in sales for 15 years. Obviously, I've got tons of experience. However, whenever I talk to new prospects, they seem apprehensive when they ask me what my qualifications are, and I tell them that I don't technically have any. Is it really necessary to study out my age just so I've got a piece of paper? Will that make a difference? Right, Jenny. I'm like you, my love. What would I was talking to somebody about this last night. There's a lady I met last night who wanted me to help her get a job, and she's got the most impressive CV you've ever seen. MBA this, degrees that, she's done this, but it's all the blue chips, all the brands. Okay, she's got a great CV, but that great CV is probably going to be read for on average 6 or 8 seconds, they say. So is the CV really valuable? What's valuable? Going to study an MBA for 2 years or getting 2 years worth of career experience in that industry? I don't know. I don't think it's about certificates, but again, I would always ask the prospect that you're talking to ask them what's more valuable, a certificate you got at university or 15 years worth of real life experience with people like you. When you ask them what they think it is, they'll tell you the experience will be more important. So don't shy away from it. Be proud that you didn't go to university. Be proud that you didn't go and get an MBA. Don't take that as a negative situation. Be proud that you were in the workplace and you were working and growing. I think it will add value. Okay, Rachel's got a question. Do you feel that the right goal is the right one that will push you and make you do it? If you're not putting in as much work as you know you should be doing, is it because the goal isn't always what you really want? Okay, the right goal is the right one. Okay, do you know what, Rachel? The goal has to be something that means something to you. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's got to mean something to you deeply. Yeah? So a goal that's given to you by somebody else, like a boss, okay, to me, that's just like all wrong, because how could you be motivated or inspired to achieve somebody else's goal? I believe that you have to set goals based upon what you want to achieve in life. Now, that doesn't have to be financial. It could be a million different things. But if it matters to you, instead of having to push towards it, okay, it will lift you. I believe it will lift you towards it and pull you along. And so that goal planning process is critical to get right. You can't just go, right, I want to earn a certain amount of money in a certain period of time and I'm going to break it down and work it out. That's just rubbish, okay? It has to be something that matters to you or to your business or what you want to achieve. When I was a kid, I wanted a bike. And my mum wouldn't let me have a bike unless I saved up for it. She said, right, every pound that you save, I'll save £1. And I'm like, okay, well, I get X amount of pocket money. I get X amount of working at the market store, X amount doing the newspaper round. So I can save £5 a week. And she's like, great. So in 2 months' time, you'll have enough money if I add to it for you to buy your bike. And I'm like, right. So again, when you're a kid, 2 months is a long time. But that was my goal. In 2 months, I was going to get my new bike because that was clear. And as a kid, that mattered to me enormously that I got this bloody bike. But great that my mum wanted to put something to it to add, otherwise it would have taken 4 months. But at least it gave me a goal, and that time horizon's critical for anyone. Now, what you have to do is make sure it's achievable. Got to have achievable goals. So the first goal, the first 90 days of any goal planning session has got to be achievable. If it's achievable, then when you get to that 90-day time period, you've achieved it, you feel good about yourself, your confidence is high, and you know you can go forward and do that again, and you could even increase it a bit. And so I think that's important. So if that answers your question, then I hope very much indeed that it does, Rach. But to me, it's really important. Paul says, love the positive attitude. Thanks, mate. Right, guys, I've got one more question I'll do here, and then I'll let you get on your way because it's been over half an hour now. John Santos from London. Hiya, Spencer. Things seem to change quickly these days. How often should I be doing refresher courses in my industry in order to stay up to date with all the trends and remain an expert in my field? It depends what industry you're in, mate. But whatever there is to learn about the innovation of your industry, you should be at the forefront of it, because otherwise you'll be behind the curve. And there's a load of other people out there that will probably be doing it before you, so you need to be doing it quickly. So learn what you can as quick as you can to stay ahead of the curve. Sometimes businesses come into the world, inventions come out, apps come out, websites come out, software comes out that isn't ready for the market. The market's just not ready for it yet. So it's kind of before the curve. So it's great products, but it's too early. But if you're in an industry that's established, my advice would be stay ahead of the curve as much as you can. Don't get caught into old-fashioned approaches when there's new ways that could be a lot better, a lot smarter. I mean, remember, we had a card box and a Rolodex, then we had some better software, then some better software, then some better software, and now we run all of our client relationship management from this. We don't even need a laptop for it. So For me, think about what you can use that really adds value to your clients, more importantly, and makes doing your job a lot easier, or at least makes you much smarter and effective at the delivery that you have, to add that value to those people that you work with as your clients. Okay, hopefully guys, this has been good. Cameron, I hope it's been helpful for you. You've enjoyed it all. That's the end of the questions. I hope you've really engaged with me. And do you know what? Share this, please, will you? Will you let other people know what I'm doing? There's people that you know that I could probably add some value to. It comes at no cost to anybody apart from a like and a share. And that share from all of you here right now would mean an awful lot to me. So please get out and share my content. Let people know what I'm doing, because I promise you that adds value to some people in some way without them even thinking about it. And that's really important to me. Guys, thank you for being with me tonight. Whatever you do, make sure that you do the right thing, and that's to make it happen. I'll see you soon. Bye now.